One thing that I have discovered about men, like most of dating is when you're a single mom, is listening to single childless men talk about how busy they are.
Oh,
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of, oh, really?
God.
So your day was hard? Okay, mine started at 4 a.m. You know, not to say that they can't be busy, but I'm just saying, like, it's really funny to me.
We are Moms Unhinged, a nationally touring stand-up comedy show. Join us in our podcast as we explore everything from motherhood, midlife crisis, marriage, divorce, online dating, menopause, and other things that irritate us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moms Unhinged. My name's Andrea, and I am your host for this episode. I'm super excited to welcome Jen O'Neill onto the podcast. Welcome, Jen.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, super excited. So, I'm going to dive in, but, really for people who aren't familiar with Moms Unhinged, we are a group of stand-up comedians traveling the country, doing shows, and now we're doing a podcast about our most unhinged moments, perhaps, and getting to know all the comedians, too. So Jen is based in Atlanta, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your kids and, like, all of that, so how you got into comedy.
Sure. So my kids, I have two kids, a boy and a girl, Sully and Louise. Now they are 12 and 14, but I've been doing comedy for over 10 years now. So they were very young when I started.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
didn't start
lots of
until I had kids. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting because, especially when they're that young, that's a really challenging time. You're so busy and, so what got you into it at that time?
Yeah, so honestly, I was just desperate for a creative outlet. I mean, I grew up loving comedy and being obsessed with comedy. I was around it a lot, but I just never did it myself. And then when the kids were real little and I was losing my mind, I'm divorced now, but at the time I was married and I told my ex-husband, I was like, I need a night. I have to have one night where I can just like go sit in a coffee shop and like write or something. Like I just have to have like one night. And so we agreed on like that Wednesday nights I would go up to this local coffee shop that like is near my house and I would write and just have some kind of creative outlet. But while I was there just ended up being an open mic night, an open mic comedy night on Wednesdays at the time that I said I wanted to go. So I would watch. And after a while, no offense to the guy that was running it, he's wonderful. And he's still doing comedy to this day, Joel Byers. But I was an open mic, so at a coffee shop, so it wasn't the best comedy. So I was kind of like, I can do that. So I put my name down, and the way that worked was like you put your name down, and then they give you a date like a month in advance of when you're gonna be on the show. And so I had like a month to prepare. And I agonized over.
That's too long.
I know.
Yeah, that's too long. I'm scared when I have 20 minutes.
It's so funny to me whenever I think about like, now that I've been doing it for so long and sometimes, and these Moms Unhinged shows are so amazing and like sold out theaters. And it's like, I can just like a minute before I go perform for this like huge theater, I'm like, what do I want to talk about? Oh yeah. And then when I think about that there was a day where I started where I agonized for a month over doing a 5 minutes in front of 8 people at a coffee shop. And that being the most terrifying thing in the world to me. I remember taking my kids to Fernbank Museum, which is like this science museum for kids. And I remember like my kids like asking me for stuff and in my head thinking like, don't you know I'm about to perform stand-up comedy tomorrow? I'm busy in my head, okay? Like I was just like, it's all I could think about. And now it's just so funny. You just get so used to doing it that it's like muscle memory,
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I bet when they're that young, you've got like, well, I mean, I feel like at any age, there's just so much material, right? At any age. But for sure, when they're young, it's like, you're like, oh my God, I am going to lose my mind. I can't believe it. They're doing this. But you know what? Good for the act.
Exactly. I always say that too when, people ask why I started later. I'm like, honestly, like I think it's a good thing because I already had a voice. I knew who I was. When you get older, you don't care what people think about you.
Oh,
And then
mm-mm.
also like I had all this material. Like I don't know that I would have had like a point of view in my early
Mm-hmm.
20s that would be good for
Right,
comedy. So I think it was
right.
just, meant to be when it was meant to be. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's so awesome. So you just kept going every Wednesday, performing, getting
No,
getting
I
better.
did that and then I did my open mic and then I was like, got it. I'm good. And so then but then I used to manage these apartments and the owner owned this wonderful venue across the street at the bottom of this hotel called the Highland Ballroom. Which was like very well known in Atlanta, and it just sat there empty on most nights. And so I asked the owner, I was like, can I have the ballroom to like throw comedy shows? And he was like, I don't care. So I started throwing a show called Schlitz and Giggles. And so I made myself host it so that I could get better at comedy. But
Hmm.
I kind of treated it like I'm inviting amazing comedians, local comedians to perform. I'm just the host. I'm just, I'm not as good
Yeah,
as these people. I'm learning. And so, but it
yeah,
was a really good boot camp for me to like make myself do it and get better. And
right.
then when you run a show, people tend to want to book you more because they want to get on your show. So it was
Yeah.
just like the right vehicle for me to get started. And then I was just
Oh
kind of
my
off to the
God.
races. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you went from like a little bit of open mics to hosting your own
Yeah.
show. That's so great. That is it's such a mom thing too. That like, it's like, you know what? Okay, I can organize this better. Let's go.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Which is like what I think is so awesome about like what you're doing with Moms Unhinged. It's just kind of like you just started your own thing and it's been incredible for
Yeah.
all of us. And it's
Yeah.
so funny how many young comedians are like, what do I got to do? I have a kid to get on one of those shows. And I'm like, sorry, it's not for you. It's for us. Like the like 20-year-old dudes that are like,
I
why can't I get on these shows? And I'm like, because it's not for you. So I love that you created this like whole world for us and all the women that get to come watch. It's just been so amazing.
That's
Yeah.
so great. So great. So great. And let's get into some of the stuff you talk about in your segments, which I am such a fan of. I love that you talk about divorce, you talk about then dating, and you've been divorced for how many years?
About 4 years.
4 years. Okay. So you had to plunge back into the dating world while your kids were kind of youngish. So
Yeah.
how has that been?
It's been fine. I'm pretty protective over my kids as far as like it takes me a long time before I introduce them to anybody. So
Yeah.
they're kind of not really in the like in it, if you will. And I'm very
Yeah.
secretive about stuff. But I do have tell some jokes about how like one thing that I have discovered about men, like most of dating is when you're a single mom, is listening to single childless men talk about how busy they are.
Oh,
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of, oh, really?
yeah.
So your day was hard? Okay, mine started at 4 a.m. You know, not to say that they can't be busy, but I'm just saying, like, it's really funny to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
They have no
joke
idea.
about how, like, in the beginning, I won't say lately, but in the beginning when I first started dating, it was wild to me how many men were like intimidated by the fact that I owned my own home. Like they
Oh.
didn't like that. Or
Oh.
just like, or because if they didn't own their own home, they felt like, and so then I joked about how, I have a joke about how now, and that, guys also don't like when you have kids. So I
Yeah.
joke that now what I do is when I invite guys over to the house, I just pretend that my kids are my two piece of shit roommates and puts them right at ease. I'm like, yeah, he looks 11,
Yeah.
but he's 19 and works at Papa John's. But no,
He's always late with his rent.
right,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
No, they owe me money. Yeah. No, but I will say that over the last couple of years, the quality of men that I'm dating have gone up. So now they're homeowners.
Hey, yeah, I
Some
know,
of them
right?
are
Like,
actual parents. That's great too.
I know. Sometimes it's funny because I joke that it's hard to date now because I just know too much. I'm like, there's just a bigger and bigger list of things that are like, nope.
Yes, exactly. You can
Before
see the problems from a mile away.
I
It's like
know,
little hints.
yeah,
You're like, oh, that's going to be an issue in 6 months
yeah,
or blah blah blah.
yeah.
And it's difficult too when you're a comedian, and not only because our schedules are crazy and we're traveling a lot, but it's I can't tell you how many guys have said on a first date, I've always wanted to be a comedian, but I have a job. And it's like, oh, really? Tell me more. Like, I don't have like 5 jobs on top of stand-up. You know what I mean? They're like, people always tell me I would be so good at comedy, but like, I have a full-time job and like, I
Yeah,
can't
I
be
mean,
out at night.
I could do it. I could
Yeah.
do it and all, but
I have like notebooks at home of hilarious stuff I wrote down. It's like, okay, cool. So it's like,
I know you talk about intimidating. I mean, homeowner and then like comedian. They're
they don't like it. They don't like it. No.
yeah.
There are guys that say they like it. They say they want to date a funny woman, but I don't know that they do. Like
Yeah.
there's what's the saying that when guys say that they want a funny woman, when women say they want a funny man, they want a man to make them laugh. And when guys say they want a funny woman, they want a woman who laughs at their jokes. So you know.
It's very true.
It's like, I'm sure. Are you on any of the dating apps or anything like that?
No, and I was dating. I just got out of a relation, or ended a relationship of 9 months. So it's just,
Oh, okay.
I'm never one to get right back into the
Yeah,
apps. It's just no,
taking me a while
no.
too. Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
I will say that I stopped putting that I'm a comedian on my profile because like
No.
every single prompt is like, tell me a joke then. What's your
I know.
funniest joke? They also hate that. They hate when I do that voice. But I'm never gonna stop. I will never stop. I've had men tell me that it's ugly when I do it, that it's unattractive and they don't like it, but I'm like, well, I guess I have to find the guy that thinks it's funny because I'm never gonna stop doing that voice.
Well, then stop saying weird stuff.
I
Okay.
know. Stop sounding like that, all right? And then I'll stop doing that voice. But tell me a joke.
That's hilarious. I know the whole tell me a joke.
I
That's
know.
just about the worst.
I hate it.
Oh my gosh. So what kind of challenges have you had with dating with young kids? Like, is it hard to like I mean, like the schedule too has got to be tough. Like how do you even work in?
It is hard. I recently had I feel so. I was just like, I got a 10:30 breakfast appointment. Can you do 10:30 breakfast?
Here's my calendar link.
I know. I was like,
See where you can fit something in.
exactly. It's like I have the kids, half the time they're with their dad. So like my schedule is, it's got to be one of those days that I don't have the kids, but then I have you put comedy in there, and it's like, okay, it's got to be one of the days I don't have the kids, and then I am not performing. And so
Yeah.
I found lately that I'm just like as I used to be really like, oh, I don't want anybody like that I'm dating to see me do stand up until now I'm just like, I have a show, you can come to it, or like that's my window. And so people would think that's crazy that I'm inviting, like, I'm like, I just, at that point, I don't, like, at this point, I don't, they're going to have to see me do comedy, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
so it's like, might as well rip off the Band-Aid and let them see me perform. Might as well, like, see if they're cool with that environment, and if they're
Yeah.
cool with just like that my schedule is crazy. So I just kind of have to like, whereas I
Yeah.
used to like, be too intimidated
No.
to bring guys to shows. Now I'm just like,
Right. Yeah,
this is where you
that's
can
wild that
find
you
me.
invite him so early. I can't do that. I can't. I'm like, it's too much. And now a word from our sponsor. I want to tell you about a podcast that I think you'll love. Dear Nina, Conversations About Friendship is the podcast for anyone who has ever overthought a text from a friend, wondered who's supposed to reach out first, or questioned whether a friendship is totally fine or fading away. Hosted by writer Nina Badzin, each episode of Dear Nina explores the questions adults don't always say out loud. How do you turn an acquaintance into a friend? What happens when the effort feels uneven? Can you stay friends when your kids now hate each other? Nina has been writing about adult friendship for over a decade, with work featured in NPR, The Wall Street Journal, Time, and more. Warm, honest, and relatable in the best way, Dear Nina is for anyone who wants better friendships and reassurance that they're not alone while figuring it out. Find Dear Nina anywhere you get your podcasts, including on YouTube. So that's funny, though. That's your first date, my comedy show.
Yeah.
You'll have to buy a ticket.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to get the butts in the seats.
It's a real bringer. It's a bringer show. I got to get on the apps.
Oh my gosh. So then, what's the deal breaker at the end? If they sneak out, or if they like leave before the show's over? What?
I've actually never had that happen, but someone said to me once at the end of the night, he said, what did he say? He said, he said something like, you did a good job, or you did good. And I was
Yeah.
like, but not what? Like, he made it
No.
sound like you did it.
It was all right.
You did, and I was like,
Okay, this isn't gonna work out.
yeah, no, it's not.
You know,
He
getting
did
up
comedy. It was something very something like he was trying to say, I didn't think it's funny, but I came and watched it and I have to comment on it. So you did it.
You did.
So
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah, what do you say to that? That's so, there's a flag there. So, do you have like any like crazy unhinged mom moments that you've had, anytime along your, I mean, I'm sure we all do, but like what's one of your wildest unhinged mom moments where you just thought you were going to lose it?
oh, where I thought I was gonna lose it. Oh gosh. One that comes
something.
to mind that happened like not too long ago was just one of those days where it was just like, the longest day of, getting up super early, making 2 lunches, getting 2 kids, then 2 breakfasts, then getting 2 kids off to school, then working a full day, getting 2 kids home, feeding them, da 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 da, just the longest day. And I
Yeah.
was sitting in my office and I was finishing up a bunch of work. The kids were right about to go to bed. And then all of a sudden, my son comes running into my office, holding his front teeth in his hand. He had a game on his phone and he was laying on his back and playing the game like this. He dropped the phone and knocked his teeth out.
Oh my God.
And I was just like, I don't even, and he was so panicked. And I was just
Oh
like,
my
he was
God.
so panicked. And then I was just like, I can't even wrap my head around this emergency right now. Like, I don't even
Yeah.
know. Like, and then I'm like Googling, like, what do you do with teeth? Like, the dentist isn't
Yeah.
open. And like, do I put it on
stick 'em
ice
back
or
in.
what do I do?
Yeah.
And so it was just, and then I was like, what do you mean you knocked it out with your phone? Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't even like you weren't even skateboarding or anything. Like, so, and then I'm thinking like, oh my God, how much, this is going to be like $1,000 million. You know what I mean? But luckily,
They weren't baby teeth. They
no,
were
there is
regular
yes.
teeth. Oh my
So,
God. What do you
luckily,
do?
the
Put 'em in-
dentist was amazing, and I'm going to say her name's Elise Ashpole. She's the best dentist in the world. And I just went to her today. She like really took care of them and gave us a good good deal and fix them up. And, so they're glued back in there.
Wow.
And
So what did you? I mean, did you glue them? I mean,
at the time, he
had that.
just had to just like sleep on it like that. And then, yeah, they like glued them back in. And
Oh
I think one
God.
tooth is half of a fake tooth. Yeah,
Okay.
half of a veneer. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Oh my goodness.
that was definitely a freak out moment of just
Yeah.
like, I don't even, my brain is so tired, I can't even compute like what is
Yeah.
happening. And he was so panicked. But I'm sure there have
Oh,
been
seriously.
so many more, but that's
Yeah.
the only thing that I can think of at this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is so wild. I can't even, and it's so funny, like these days we're able to Google things. I can't imagine, like, what would you do? How
Yeah.
did, I mean, like now we can at least get some advice. And it's amazing what there's so much out there that's available, for advice. Like, what do you do when you knock out teeth? Like,
Yeah.
that's
I
so
was just
crazy.
talking to my sister about like, just map like I was just in Spain for a week and I was like I had Google Maps to get everywhere. And I
Yeah.
was thinking I was like, God, remember when I was a teenager and mom and dad just let me like get in a car and drive to New York
Yeah.
like with a piece of paper? I was like 16 years old and I had like a piece of paper that told me how to get from Atlanta to New York
Yeah.
where my family lived. And I just
Yeah.
got in the car and made it there. And I didn't
Yeah.
even have
Yeah.
a phone to like call them and tell them. Like I had to wait until I got to a landline to be like, made it to New York.
I know. You just wouldn't even know where they were. And now you've got them on your apps all the
Oh,
time. You know
yeah.
exactly
It's crazy.
where they are. It's so crazy. So yeah, it's wild. You just print out like MapQuest after
Yes.
MapQuest sheet, and so
I
wild. That's
know. We
crazy.
survived.
Yeah. So did you have any moments as a kid where you caused stress for your parents?
Oh,
Or were you a good kid?
yes. Yes. We were the worst. We were the worst children. Neighbors would sit in lawn chairs on their yard in their yard and watch the chaos. Because there was four of us, we were bananas. We were always fighting. We were always like literally throwing each other out of windows and through screen doors.
God.
I
Oh
know
my
sometimes
God.
I feel so guilty. Well, not I feel guilty for my mom for sure, but I feel guilty that my kids are so well behaved, and
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know that I deserve that. So I'm wondering if like the teens are really gonna get me, now that
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
entering their teenage years. So
I know.
yeah,
It's scary waiting for karma to come
yeah,
back. It's like, dang it, when's it going to show
I
up?
know. I'm knocking on all wood. Yeah.
Oh my God. But your kids are good kids?
Yeah, they're well behaved. And it makes me a little
Yeah.
nervous because my son is 14 and that is the age that I was like really started getting into like being a bad kid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I'm
Like,
like I'm like he's so like sweet and nerdy, but I'm like, yeah, right. Like I'm like, let me see your phone. Like I'm like, there's gotta be like, yeah,
something's,
I'm like
yeah.
looking for cigarettes in his bag and he's got like, fun dip in there or something. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Hiding the cookie
I
that he took,
know. And
or
I'm like,
something. Yeah.
are you eating because you're
Yeah.
still like, did you smoke weed? Is that why you're hungry? And he's like, I just ran a mile. And I'm like, yeah, right. Let me see your eye.
Oh
Like, I'm
my.
just, yeah. But I know he's a good
That's
kid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so fun. Yeah, so what did you get into when you were that age?
Oh God. I will say I moved from New York to Georgia when I was 14.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came here with the greatest of intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, this will be great. It'll be an adventure. But nothing could prepare me for Southern passive aggression. I
Oh,
had no idea what was waiting for me. And I was this like, New Yorker with big hair and a really thick accent. And so kids just like were just so vicious to me. And in New York, like where I grew up, like you didn't talk shit to each other unless you were going to physically fight, you know? So I didn't understand when like girls were saying nasty stuff to me. I was like, guess we're fighting, you know? So I was like, guess we're gonna beat you up now. And so like, I mean, I was like, and so I got in trouble a lot for like, I remember like, the like very first thing my parents had me do to try to make friends is they made me go to this like church lock-in, and I got kicked out of it for fighting. And so yeah, the South made me real hard. It wasn't New York, it was the South. And so so then I had a real big chip on my shoulder throughout, you know. So I got it. I was like, all right, I'm a bad kid now, and I'm gonna commit. So I like, you know,
Double down.
drank, smoked some weed, hung out with the like people way too old for me to be hanging out with.
Yeah.
Stole a car one time. There was that. Crashed it on the side of the highway. So yeah, I was a pretty bad kid. And so that's why I'm like, you know, I look at my kids with side eyes like,
Yeah.
what are you doing really? Yeah. They're just like,
So your mom was unhinged then. She
oh yeah. Oh yeah, because I have an older sister who got into just as much trouble as I did. But
my goodness.
so I think she was more focused on my sister because she's older, and so I kind of flew under the radar for a while, getting away with stuff. But yeah, my mom we definitely put her
hands
through
full.
the ringer. She was unhinged.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you are you dating anyone now?
I'm going on dates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So everything's very new. I just started dating again. So yeah. I'm meeting some very nice people. We'll see what happens. Taking it one day at a time. But I just started dating again very recently. I was in a relationship that ended in January. Around like I tried to dip my toe back in, and then I was just having the most insane luck, like terrible luck, that I was like, the universe is telling me like, no, 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 get off, like no. Like I mean bad dates, like bad, like when I was like, oh, I'm not really like attracted to him, but he seems funny, like, you know, he's got a nice personality, I'll go out with him. And then I really hope he doesn't listen to this. And so then I went on a date with him, and then I was like, oh yeah, he is really funny. Like that's cool. Like I will hang out with him again. And then I realized what his last name was, and then I found that out on the date, and then the next day I decided to give him a quick Google, and it turns out that he was arrested for having an affair with his 17-year-old student. And then it says under the headline, "We were in love." Like he's not even, he's doubling down. And so it's like, nope. And then I had a guy who was an hour late to dinner, and he kept telling me, no, I'm almost there. No, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And then when he got there, he was visibly shaking. And it was like the most uncomfortable, like, and then it's so much stuff that I can't even like say on the podcast. And so it was just like, the universe is like, go home and stop it. Stop this. So, but I just recently started dating again, and so far so good. Everybody seems nice and normal, but you know, we'll see.
That's wild.
To be determined, I guess.
Yeah, that is so wild.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you. Because at the end of the day, the thing is like when you're a mom and you know, our age, and you're a mom and you already have like your home and your kids and your whatever, it's like you just don't need the bullshit. You don't need it. And so it's like it's nice to find someone who's cool, and like if there's no drama and everything's fun and it's cool, then great. But if the second that there's like bullshit or drama or whatever, it's just like, I just don't, what do I need this for? I don't.
I know.
So
I know.
Yeah.
Right. So true.
Yeah.
That is definitely true. It's like, yeah. And I think that some guys don't understand that. They're like, I'm good. I'm good. I so you better be good.
Exactly. I know.
Oh, well, that is awesome. So, why don't you tell our listeners where they can find you, where they can connect with you? And I didn't even really get into all the cool things that you do. You've had 2 podcasts, you've been on TV, you've been featured on Sirius XM, like cool stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So I can be, so I have 2 podcasts. One is called The Ridiculous, and that is just where me and fellow comedian Sally Brooks, we just kind of riff on listicles and stuff. That one's a real lighthearted, fun podcast. And then we have a podcast called Dumb Love. It's her and I also, where it's part true crime, part love story. So we do a true crime story up front, all love related, and then we finish with a real love story so you can feel good about the world. And then yeah, and then through that I was on a show on Investigation Discovery called Seduced to Slay, discussing one of the murders.
Oh my God.
My episode is called Murder on My Bingo Card, so you can find me there. That's on HBO Max. And then
Wow.
yeah, and then on Instagram, I'm at it's Jen O'Neill, and on TikTok, Jen O'Neill Comedy.
Awesome. Awesome. And we'll have those links in the show notes so
thanks.
people can definitely find you. So thank you so much, Jen. This has been so fun
Thank you.
and great to connect with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for everything that you do for all of us moms.
Yeah. Thanks. All right.
All right, thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, and make sure you subscribe, share, and follow us on the socials to get more comedy clips.